Troy Landry, a name that doesn't just belong to a man, it belongs to a legend. For years, he stood as the fearless face of swamp people, the king of the swamp himself, whose every hunt carried the weight of Cajun tradition, danger, and survival. But recently, something unexpected has shaken his kingdom, and fans are left wondering, what really happened to Troy Landry? Stay with me, because the truth is both heartbreaking and inspiring, and it's a story you won't want to miss. Troy Landry's connection to the swamp didn't begin on television. It began long before cameras ever rolled. Born in 1960, he grew up surrounded by the wild, untamed waters of Louisiana. His family wasn't just living in the swamp, they were part of it. His grandfather and father passed down the traditions of alligator hunting, teaching Troy that this wasn't just a way to make a living, it was survival. It was respect. It was a legacy. As a boy, Troy's childhood was painted with the sounds of the swamp, the buzzing cicadas, the croaking frogs, and the splash of gators in the bayou. These moments shaped him into a man who would one day face 12-foot monsters without flinching. But here's the twist. Before becoming the king of the swamp, Troy wasn't even hunting gators full-time. He worked as a commercial fisherman, braving the waters of Louisiana's Atchafalaya Basin. It was there that he built the strength, skill, and grit that would prepare him for the role of a lifetime. When Swamp People premiered in 2010, Troy's life changed forever. Viewers across the country were captivated by this larger-than-life hunter with his Cajun drawl, his fearless attitude, and his bond with family. Troy wasn't just another reality TV star. He was the embodiment of the swamp itself. And fans loved it. The hunts, the danger, the suspense, it was all real. But what really made people tune in season after season was Troy himself. His humor, his humility, his deep respect for nature. But while the show highlighted thrilling hunts, it also gave the world a rare glimpse into Cajun life. Troy wasn't just hunting gators, he was protecting an ecosystem, preserving a culture, and teaching his children to do the same. At home, Troy's story was just as compelling. He and his wife, Bernita, built a life together that spanned over 4 decades of love, partnership, and resilience. From raising their sons, Jacob and Chase, both of whom followed in their father's footsteps, to supporting their family's crawfish business, Bernita stood by Troy through every storm. But fans noticed something strange. As the seasons went on, Troy's presence on Swamp People seemed to fade. His sons carried on the family tradition on screen, while the king himself appeared less and less. Rumors began swirling. Was it health issues? Was Troy stepping back to focus on his family? Or was there something else behind the mystery? The truth, as fans would soon discover, was more shocking than anyone expected. News of his diagnosis spread quickly, sparking panic and heartbreak across the fan base. Social media flooded with farewell messages, many fearing the worst. His son Jacob stepped forward, bravely updating fans about his father's condition. He revealed that Troy had undergone surgery to remove the cancer, and though the road was tough, his recovery was strong. Fans rallied behind him, sending prayers, encouragement, and stories of their own battles with the disease. For a moment, the swamp stood still, and then it roared back to life, stronger than ever. Troy's return to the swamp wasn't just about hunting. It was about proving resilience. He reminded everyone that the spirit of a Cajun hunter isn't broken by fear, pain, or even cancer. In fact, his comeback included some of the most jaw-dropping moments in Swamp People history. Who could forget the time he, his nephew Holden, and his son Chase caught a 12-foot gator that nearly capsized their boat? Or the shocking moment when Troy and his hunting partner Pickle Wheat pulled in a massive gator, only to find a 7-foot baby gator clutched in its jaws? These moments weren't just good television. They were reminders of the raw, unpredictable force of nature Troy had spent his life mastering. And then came the record breaker, 82 alligators in a single day. A feat so unbelievable it pushed Troy to the brink of injury, but also cemented his legend as the king of the swamp. But behind the danger and drama, Troy's story has always been about something deeper: family, tradition, and Cajun culture. From cooking hearty Cajun meals for his crew to teaching his children the values passed down through generations, Troy embodies what it means to carry a legacy. Cajun culture itself is woven into every moment of Swamp People. From the French-influenced language and music to the centuries-old tradition of hunting gators not just for sport, but for survival, Troy Landry has become the living symbol of a people who have always found a way to thrive in the face of hardship. Yet even as Troy recovered, the Swamp People family faced heartbreak. The loss of beloved cast members like Mitchell Gwist and others was a painful reminder of how fragile life in the swamp can be. But instead of breaking the community, it brought them closer together. And through it all, Troy stood tall, grieving, enduring, and carrying the torch forward, Today, despite his battles, Troy Landry remains a legend. With an estimated net worth of over $2 million, a loving family by his side, and a career that has spanned more than a decade on national television, his story is more than just about hunting gators. It's about resilience, it's about culture, and it's about a man who refused to let life, or even cancer, take away his crown. The King of the Swamp may not appear on Swamp People as often as before, but his presence is felt in every hunt, every Cajun story, and every viewer who continues to be inspired by his journey. So while the mystery of Troy Landry's future may linger, one thing is certain: legends don't fade. They live on in the stories we tell, the traditions we honor, and the families who carry their legacy forward. And Troy Landry, he will always be the King of the Swamp? What do you think about Troy's journey, his battles, his legacy, and his incredible resilience? Share your thoughts in the comments, and let's celebrate the story of a man who proved that no matter how wild the swamp or life itself may be, the human spirit is stronger.